Which year's basketball roster is better, this year or last year?
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and thank you for making us your first listen of every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and we're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And on this week's Poll Friday question, I asked you guys, which roster do you think is better? The projected Syracuse basketball roster for this upcoming season or last year's team? And you guys voted 521 votes this week. And the results are in. 387 of you said that this year's projected roster is better than last year's team. And I agree with you. But before that, I would just like to say that every single Monday is when I release the question for Poll Friday, and you can vote on both Twitter and on YouTube. So be on the lookout every single week for Poll Friday questions on Monday afternoon. 74% said that this year's projected roster is better. I agree with you guys. Here's why. I think there's a lot more balance on this projected team, which, by the way, still has 3 more open scholarship spots available and could probably use another impact guard. But there's just a lot more balance than last year. Last year, there was Naheem McLeod, Chance Westry that were injured. Naheem McLeod was out for more than half the year. Chance Westry missed the whole season. And, of course, you had Benny Williams kicked off the team, and that left the roster really thin. You had about 5 players on the team last year who can legitimately play at least 15 minutes a night, and you'd be comfortable with that. And that was Judah Mintz, JJ Starling, who's a holdover, Quadir Copeland, who just transferred to McNeese State, Chris Bell, who is a holdover, and Malik Brown, who is playing out of position, could also play at least 15 minutes a night. He's at Duke now. But that's my point. Only those 5 players last year you were comfortable with playing a substantial amount of minutes. Now, that doesn't mean to say that players on the team didn't get a lot of minutes at times, but only those 5, I was like, yep, I can see them playing a substantial amount of time during a game. When you look at this year's team, just a quick look, how many guys are you comfortable with playing at least 15 minutes? Just right now off the top of your head. I'd say Jaquan Carlos, JJ Starling, right? I at least throw those 2 at the guards. Chris Bell, Donnie Freeman, Jyare Davis, Eddie Lampkin, Naheem McLeod. So those 7. That's just right now. And I'm leaving out intentionally Chance Westry because I just don't know. But I think we'll know pretty quickly heading into next season whether he can play 15 minutes a night, and we're comfortable with that. But Chance Westry is someone who has upside. That would give him 8 legitimate rotation players on this team. 8 of them, a luxury that Syracuse did not have last year, and they still have 3 open scholarships remaining. Now, coming up, I do have a little bit of reservations with the roster as of now, but it's nothing too bad, but I would like to address them. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and Gametime is what you should use to buy tickets. Gametime is an authorized ticket marketplace of the NBA, which makes getting playoff tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets. Some of you guys might be New York Knicks fans that are watching or listening to this channel, and you can use Gametime to buy tickets to attend a home or road playoff game against the Indiana Pacers. And well, with them up 2-0 right now, I'm not so sure they'll have another home playoff game against the Pacers. We might have to wait until the next round if you're a Knicks fan. But regardless, you can purchase road or home. My favorite part is I get to see the view from my seat before I buy. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you purchase. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Passion, drive, and patience, the formula for winning championships, is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit. Only available to U.S. customers. Welcome back, everyone, into Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer, and we're going over this week's Poll Friday question where I asked you guys, which roster do you think is better, this projected team coming up for basketball or last year's team, which narrowly missed the NCAA tournament, if you want to call it that, narrowly missed. They were sort of on the bubble, not quite, but sort of. So I asked you guys which roster you think is better, and 74% of you guys out of the over 500 people that voted said that they think this year's upcoming basketball roster is better than last season. And I went over that I think that this year's roster is a lot more balanced, given that they can probably go 7-8 deep right now, and that's not even getting into Elijah Moore and Chance Westry, really. Those guys, we'll see if they can develop their shot. But this roster, when you look at it, it's a lot more balanced. However, I do still think, and I mentioned this in the starting lineup when I talked about Quadir Copeland, but I also compared the starting lineups of the two teams. I still think that this team needs one more impactful player that you can just bank in. That there aren't really any questions with him. I just think they can use that, because the one thing that they're kind of lacking right now on their team is that top-end talent. That surefire top-end talent. They have a lot of good pieces. JJ Starling's good. Chris Bell's good. I think Eddie Lampkin's good. Jyare Davis, good. I'm not going to go through every single name, but you get the idea. I think they're all good. But where's that true guy, right? It doesn't need to be a ball-dominant player. I'm not saying they need to go get Judah Mintz, basically. But it would be nice to have another player that you can just bank in as an impactful starting caliber player. Example would have been Dakota LeFew if he were to commit to Syracuse. Kadari Richmond would have been someone that was outstanding, obviously. I think he would have come in and be the team's best player right away. And, well, Ken Evans would also fit that bill as well. We'll see what Syracuse does with their remaining open scholarship spots, but they could use that one more impactful starter, because they don't quite have that like they had last season with Judah Mintz and Malik Brown being highly, highly productive players. I do think that Donnie Freeman, given that he is a number 6 overall player in the class of 2024, that he could be that in just his true freshman season. But why not have another that you can at least bank that is more of an upperclassman? And one other note that is a positive with this team before I let it go here is that they are, it seems like, a lot more mature, because the team is mostly upperclassmen. And I don't think that was I think that was definitely intentional with what Syracuse has been targeting in the transfer portal this entire offseason. They're trying to get guys who are upperclassmen, who have been there, done that before, whether they have tournament experience or not. They are experienced college basketball players, because the team last year was sorely missing it. So, having said all of that, giving all the positives and maybe some of the negatives here, I am in agreement with the 74% of you that I think that this year's projected basketball roster, as of even right now, is better than last year's team. And I do think that they are right there in terms of making the tournament. They're right there. They're probably not going to be a high seed as of now. I wouldn't say that, but maybe they can squeak in as a 10-11 is kind of where I have them right now. That would be a productive season. But that is it for this week's Poll Friday. A reminder, like I said off the top of the show, every Monday I release the question on both Twitter and on YouTube, so you can go vote throughout the week. I usually have it just pinned on YouTube, so it's the first thing or not on YouTube, on Twitter, so you can just see right away, or you can see right away when you click on my page where the Poll Friday question is. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, click that like button, and if you really liked it, subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications, and hopefully Syracuse basketball can land just one more piece, at least, in the transfer portal.